The labour market remains incredibly tight at present. Unemployment remains very low at 3.8%. And we still have less than one unemployed job seeker per vacancy. So that's really being reflected in a lot of the staff shortages and hiring difficulties that we're continuing to see throughout the economy.
So we keep hearing this phrase, the Great Resignation. What is happening to the job market?
Yeah, so we've seen that historically really elevated levels of vacancies, near record levels, have been affording workers lots of opportunities to move between jobs. So we've seen really strong rates of job-to-job switching and a lot of industries that have really been bouncing back since the pandemic, since the reopening of the economy, have been ramping up hiring very, very strongly, and that's been affording workers lots of opportunities to move between jobs.
Are they paying more?
They are. We're seeing that particularly in the sectors that are struggling to hire the most. They've really having to be competing on pay and increasing salaries. So we've seen that in sectors like hospitality, manufacturing, construction, retail, warehousing. A lot of those lower paid sectors have really been having to increase pay. Our figures suggest annual wage increases between 7 and 10% to try and attract the workers that they need to fill those gaps.
Which is great news for those workers. For everybody else, does that mean inflation?
Ultimately, if companies really are going to have to eventually pass on some of these higher costs to consumers. So, yeah, we are starting to see that very much reflected in higher prices for consumers. We see that in the inflation figures. Inflation's already in excess of 9% and predicted to head even higher over the winter, particularly as energy prices soar even further in October and then in January. So really consumers' budgets certainly being squeezed.
Which are the industries that are really desperate for employees?
So our data suggests that the biggest shortages have been in sectors like hospitality, retail, loading and stocking, construction, manufacturing. We're seeing that really demand for workers has really rebounded very, very strongly in recent months. That's really exceeded the supply of workers available to come and fill those vacancies. We've seen a big increase in rates of economic inactivity. Since the pandemic, we've seen a lot of workers, particularly older workers, the over 50s, have been less active in the job market. A lot of people have taken early retirement. So we're facing almost 1 million missing workers from the UK labour market.